everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jennifer, and today we're going to be using the Suqqu Pre Holiday collection. I am very, very late to this, but if you're interested in seeing it, just stay tuned. Hey everybody, as I said in my intro, I'm very late with the Suqqu Pre Holiday collection. I've had it for quite some time. Just haven't been able to get around to doing a video on it, so we're doing it today. A couple things to go through. I've got 4 lipsticks, the blush palette, 2 brushes that came with the eyeshadow bundle. I'll show you that in a second. And I also received the a sample of the Suqqu Treatment Serum Primer. Now, I have mentioned in the past that the primer that the refining primer, I think it is, I'll put the name down below, I really love, and I did it in a video and I mentioned how much it was like one of my favorite primers. I rarely use primers. And then it was like discontinued. Could not find it anymore. So I don't know. I'm going to try to find out whether that still exists or if they got rid of it or what. So I am using Suqqu foundation today. This is let's put this up here. This is the Suqqu foundation in the original cream 210. So it comes in this little pot. And my skin is not cooperating today. It is fussy and irritated and just not cooperating. Mostly because I've kind of been under the weather a little bit, and so I haven't been using my nighttime treatments like I usually do, like the whole, the whole thing. So my skin is irritated with me because I have not been taking care of it. So this is what happens when I'll get back on my regimen. So I want to show you, this is the Suqqu Eyes box that it came in. Both the eyeshadow quads came in here. And I have both of those, which I will show you. And then it also contained a blending brush and an angle shader brush. There's this card that came with it. Talks about the brushes. And my understanding is Suqqu is switching over, or some of Suqqu brushes are switching over from natural hair to synthetics. I'm not sure which ones these are, to be honest with you. This is the blending brush. It says a round fluffy brush with bouncy resilience, great at softening and buffing to create a seamless finish. Makes sense. Kind of brush that I would use often. We'll use it today. And then the angled shader brush, it says designed to blend and diffuse cream or powder and onto the lash line. So I'm guessing this is synthetic since well, we'll see. It feels awfully soft to be synthetic, but yeah, it feels awfully soft. All right, well, we'll try those. We'll try those today. Okay, so the eyeshadow quads. We have 109. And we have 108. I am going to use both of these today. I'm going to do a look with one of them, and then we'll cut to another scene where I use the other one, so you'll get to see both of them. We have the blush palette in 103, which looks like this. I've actually used this in a video by the time this goes up. And I already have a blush palette from, I don't remember when this was, 2 Christmases? I can't remember. This is 102 from last year. So let me show you the comparison between the two. So this is the old one here, and this is the new one. And if you want swatches, I can put them up on Instagram of the comparison. I'll do swatches of the blush palette today, but if you want comparisons between 102 and 103, I'm happy to do that. All right, then I've got 2 Vibrant Rich lipsticks in 114 and 115. And then we have matte lipsticks in 104 and 105. So I'll show you all of those when we get a little bit closer. Let's swatch the blush palette. I think some of these shades can definitely be used as highlighter. We'll see if I can use this shade as a bronzer. I don't know. This shade is the shade that I used for my fall look when I used Guerlain and Dior Holiday. It is very pigmented and really a beautiful shade, really pumpkin-y kind of shade. It's gorgeous. This could work as a bronzer on someone like me. It's very, you know, it's probably, it's warm toned. It's got a bit of shimmer to it. This could definitely be highlighter. It's a gold toned highlighter or a topper on a blush. You can hardly see it on my skin. Oh, that's a beautiful shade. I'd have to go light with this because it is so pigmented, but it's a gorgeous blush, or you could use it on the eye. This one is like definitely more of that plum shade. I don't think it would be right for me, but again, I could absolutely use these on the eye. And then this last shade, definitely for me, highlighter. If I was gonna pick, I'd choose this one because it's cooler leaning. All right, let's take the BK Beauty 108 brush. Let's go into this cooler highlighter here. This shade. See how that works. Going to be a little bit more targeted with it, which is why I'm using a different brush today. Now on me, that's very, very subtle. Let's take the gold shade, go over it a little bit. The gold shade has a little more, I like the shade of the cooler one, but because my skin kind of meshes with it, you don't see that much. With a little bit of the gold over it though, I think that's great. It's also because my skin is just terrible today. I'm gonna have to do like a deep mask like this. I'm gonna have to use like one of my Sisley masks, one of my Chantecaille masks, and like deeply moisturize because it's a couple of days, guys, a couple of days without my regimen. When you get to be my age, almost 50, going in with the Tom Ford brush, I'm gonna take that middle, the top middle shade, the one that I said that could be like a little bit of a bronzer. I'm just gonna use it very lightly, kind of like the tops, yeah, like that, because it does have kind of a shine, shimmer to it. So I don't think it really works, you know, it certainly wouldn't work on somebody who has like a medium skin tone as a bronzer, but because I am pale, I think it'll actually work as long as I'm light with it and don't, you know, try to use too much of it. Just give a little bit of warmth to my skin. I think it works well. Yeah, that looks nice. Just as an all over, I think that actually works. Oh, okay, good. One thing going right today. Let's think. It's been one of those weeks, guys, which is weeks like that. I'm gonna take the KZ03 cheek brush, and I'm gonna use this deeper shade that I was talking about, that it has like a rosewood. I really like it, but I'm gonna be very careful with it which is why I'm using a KZ brush. It's a very soft brush because that shade is deep for me, but if I use a very light brush, I should be fine. Just kind of, yeah. Just going in very lightly with it. See, like, even though I went in super light, on my skin tone, it definitely shows up. So I think this palette, this cheek palette, is really beautiful, and I think it could definitely be used for people who have deeper skin tones. It's not just for, you know, fair, pale. If you're paler than I am, you're gonna wanna go in very lightly, because I went in lightly. But the blush shades are very pigmented. They're gonna work for, I think, quite a few people. Like, I have to say, like, these shades on this side, the blush side, you know, the other two seem like highlighters to me. They are all very, very pigmented. And if I use them with a dense brush, it's too much. When I was trying them out, I was like, yeah, I can't. I have to use a soft brush to use any of the blushes in that one. And I will do a blush comparison between that and the 102 on Instagram. The eyeshadows. So we're gonna do, like I said, we're gonna do both the eyeshadows. I'm gonna do one look with them and then I will do another look with them and you can see it. So they'll be like cutaways. But both of them are really, I think, really interesting and really different for Suqqu. So we're gonna do the 108 first, yeah, swatching wise. Let's do the 108 so that you can see it. We've already got the blush there, so we gotta. The 108 is the warmer of the two, but they both have like, these are very sparkly, which is not usually what Suqqu has. They always have a topper that has like some, you know, sparkle to it, but these are different. These are more, you'll see what I mean in a second. Yeah. See that color? It is definitely got glitz in it. Glitz and glimmer. So that's the 108. So these shades are warm, but this is cool. So this is gonna be interesting. See how this works. And then we have 109, which on the face of it looks like a cooler palette. They both have these beautiful like gray sparkly shades in them. It's really interesting. This is a really pretty lavender. Wow, that's nice. These two shades alone I would just use. Like the lavender all over and then the sparkle on it. Wow. See, this is what I find interesting about Suqqu. I would not put these shades together in a palette, but they do it and they always end up looking really nice. Wow, okay. So this is going to be an interesting quad because my inclination is that these three shades work really well together and this one doesn't because it's like a copper with the purples, but you know, we're going to put it together and see what we can do. So we're going to do this one first, which is the 108. This one is a simpler to do, I think, quad. We're going to take this shade first, this kind of satin. I'm going to use the Suqqu brush that they provided. Oh, it's a nice brush. Start building up the crease here. Like I said, my skin is just, that's the thing. Like when people always ask me like, what's the, the best makeup as you get older to make you look better, feel more confident. Honestly, it's skincare. I cannot stress it enough. No matter how beautiful your makeup is, if your skin is not cooperating, if your skin looks dull or dry, or at the moment mine looks dull, dry, and irritated, your makeup's just not going to look as good. I don't care what makeup it is. So that's why I always, really talk about skincare. And the fact is I haven't been doing my regimen for the last couple days, and it shows. Sorry I keep talking about it, but it's just irritating because I'm just like, I know better. Okay, let's take the shimmery white shade, put it up towards the brow bone. My eyebrows are still healing. Jeez, I can't speak either. So we'll just put a little bit up there, not all the way. That's why I'm using a pencil one brush, because I want to be like really specific where I put it because I don't want it to get too close to my brows. We can also put that in the inner corner. It's a very light shade, creamy, sparkly shade. You can also use it as a topper, I'm sure. But I'm going to use the silver, so we're going to see how that goes. All right, so now we're going to take the silver shade, and we're going to put that on the eye and see how that... Well, I wonder if we should take the gold shade. I'm going to put the gold shade on the lid and then put the silver over it. Let's try that. Let's put the gold shade on the lid and put the silver over it. We'll see We'll see how it works. Okay, so this is what I did in the transition. This is in the brown, the inner corner. We're gonna take this and put it on the eye, and then we'll put the silver over it. We'll see how that works. Because this is a very, like, it's a very gold shade. And I think you could just stop right here, frankly, with this look. It's very subtle, very pretty. But I would say, like, up to now, this is very, very Suqqu. Like, you know, it's a soft, delicate look. I would use the term pigmented enough because it's not super pigmented, but the shades are gonna work on a lot of people and they'll show up. They're just not, you know, duochromes or anything like that. They're just nicely done. Well done shades. We'll go back in with that, I think it's like a satin shade, the darker brown. We'll buff it out as well, but I just want to go back over that. So that's the look we have so far. And if we just left it like this, I think it would be very pretty. Definitely warm leaning. Yeah, it's very nice, very soft look, very pretty. I would say fall, because it's got like kind of a autumnal kind of shade, you know, like that gold, the brown, a little bit of white. Very pretty. So let's go in with the gray now and see if we see what happens. I'm using the flat definer brush from Sonia G, which I believe is coming back into stock. The Sky set. Yeah, something about Suqqu that makes like these, they make the sets interesting. That's the only way I can explain it. Because these are not shades that I would have put together, like ever. But this is very pretty. Let's go back in with Wayne Goss 03. Just buff that in. It's really interesting, the color that it creates. Now, if I take that like goldy topper shade and put it on top, yeah, it's just like, it's fascinating. So if you just use that silver by itself, you're just gonna get that silver. But if you put it on over the gold, you get this really interesting shade. It's almost like antique gold. So pretty, so different. Let's take that silver shade, sparkly shade, use it for the lower lash line. Look at that. This one shade, the silver shade, is really stunningly beautiful. And it just makes everything else look more interesting. I'm not sure how they did it, but very interesting look. I really like it. It's just different, like it's kind of multi-dimensional when you put the shades together. Okay, so that is 108. All right, let me get you up close so you can see it. I think you can see what I mean by like, it looks multi-dimensional. It looks like there's different layers because there are. Now, you don't have to put the gold underneath the silver. You don't have to use, you could just use that silver and the satin color. But I think this makes really an interesting, like it looks to me like antique gold. All right, so I'm gonna put on a little bit of mascara. I'm also gonna use one of the lipstick shades. Don't worry, at the end I will swatch all the lipsticks so you can see them. But just to get an overall look before we switch to the other eye one. Okay, we're back. So I have on the lipstick in 115. This is the Vibrant Rich lipstick. So it's very, very moisturizing lipstick. This is a great neutral for me. It's almost like the shade of my lips. So I really like this. I would probably wear it with a pencil, like a deeper pencil on the outline, but I still love it. So again, this is 108 on the eyes with just a little bit of mascara. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove the eye makeup. We're gonna do the other quad, which is 109. I'm gonna keep the neutral lipstick on because I think it'll work with both. That's why I picked this shade. And then at the end, we'll take a look at the 109, see how that looks, and I'll swatch the other lipsticks in comparison so you can see the entire collection. Okay, we're back. Now we're gonna do the 109, right? Yes, 109. So this is gonna be interesting. I think I'm gonna start off I think I'm going to start off with the cool colors and let's see what it does. And then we can add in the warm. I'll be honest, if I were going to do this just for myself, I would just do these two shades together and these two shades together. But because we're doing this, we're trying out the entire quad. All right, this is the lavender shade. Really pretty light lavender shade. Definitely a cool lavender, very light on the eye, but really pretty. If you're looking for, you know, a very soft lavender, that would be it. Again, not very pigmented, but pigmented enough where you're definitely going to see that shade. Okay. Like I said, my first instinct is just to go with the cool shades. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. Let me think about how I want to do this. Let's take that gray shade, this one here. Use the same brush. And just, let's see how sparkly it is. Okay, so it looks like a really sparkly shade. Like it doesn't show up much with this very soft brush. That's not necessarily a bad thing, because I have an idea. Okay, like working my way through this palette. It's just the color story is like, it's Suqqu, always unique. All right, so I'm gonna take the orange shade. I'm using the flat definer brush and I'm gonna put it on the eye. Going in light with it. It's a very pretty shade. Very fall-like, very pumpkin. This would have been a good shade to use with the fall look I did using the Dior. Now, it doesn't mean you only use pumpkin shades like in the fall. You can use this shade any time of year. It's just, you know, this time of year, kind of like everybody comes out and starts using pumpkin shade. Okay, so let's blend those in a little bit. So I've got the lavender on the eye and the pumpkin shade. You wouldn't necessarily think those things would go together, but so far, actually, it's fine. So let's use that deep sparkly shade in the outer corner. Let's use Suqqu brush, the angled brush, and what I'm going to do with it, just smudge it along the lash line here and the outer corner. Kind of just like edging. Okay, all right, good so far. Let's take the Chanel domed brush, same shade. Gonna kind of pounce it out here. Oh, interesting, okay. Okay, now let's take that gray shade that was like a sparkly shade, topper shade. Yeah, putting this on top kind of brings it all together. Yeah, that shade is just like sparkle, but you'll see when I get you close how that just pulls it together. Now, I have to admit, with this quad, I would still prefer using those cool shades by themselves without the pumpkin shade. Like, I feel like the pumpkin shade would be better, me personally, with the other quad. Or by itself. I think it would be beautiful with just the sparkle on it. I don't really love the lavender with it, but I do think it works. It's just not my favorite look from Suqqu. The shades I like individually. This one, I'm not as much of a fan with it all together. That's, I mean, just my take. I like all the shades individually, but together, I'm not as fond of it. I like the other one better. Okay, let me curl my lashes, put on mascara, and then let's check out all the lip shades. Okay, so we have mascara on, and as usual, once you put the mascara on, I actually think it looks like really pretty on the eye. It's a beautiful look. It's still not one of my favorite quads though. The color story to me is just not my favorite. Maybe if I took the orange and made that the transition and did the purple all over the lid and the sparkle over that, I'd like it better. And maybe that's what I'll do next time. Maybe I'll just take the orange as the transition shade and then use these shades on the eye. That might be a better use of the shades. Yeah, I'll try that. I mean, it's not bad. It's just, I don't love it like this, but maybe I'll try that with the orange in the crease and then the purple on the lids. Okay, lipstick. So what I'm wearing, as I said, is the 115. This is Vibrant Rich lipstick. And as you can tell, it's a nude. The Vibrant Rich lipsticks look like this. This one is absolutely a beige nude kind of shade. Then we have, where is this one? We have 114, which is a deeper shade. I think I'm gonna really like that one. Still browny, you know, brown shades. I tend to like a brown lipstick. Can't take the 90s out of the girl, I guess. I was in my 20s. Wore a lot of brown lipstick. And then the matte sheer lipsticks, which don't have caps on them because the caps come separately. I do have caps, but don't know where they are right now. But anyway, we have number 104 and 105. So let's do 104 first. Very deep shade, but again, these are sheer mattes. I do like this formula. I don't really like mattes, but I do like this formula. That's 104. Almost like a chocolate brown. And then 105, which is a much brighter shade. Almost fluorescent. So those are all the lipstick shades. The rich lipsticks are my favorite, the two shades in that. Of these two, this is my favorite one because I love that chocolate brown, but I will admit it's a little deep for me. This one is actually a lot of fun on the face. You can't, like, I mean, I can't really show you, but it actually brightens up your face quite a bit. It reminds me a little of the Sicily lipstick that I picked up, that I did my Sicily haul with, because it's like a bright pinky peach kind of shade. It's actually very pretty. So that is all of Suqqu Pre Holiday. There is going to be a holiday collection that's coming out. I am going to pick up some of that, so I will certainly show it to you. Some of these items are still available. I think the blush palette in the 103 is still available on Selfridges, and I will do some swatches with the 102 and the 103 so you can see the difference. I love the Suqqu products, and I'm a big fan of their makeup. I really love that primer, so I'm going to try this new primer. The foundation is great. The releases are, you know, because they're not, I'm in the United States, so in the United States they're a little harder to pick up. They are available on Selfridges, Cult Beauty. You can order directly from the Suqqu counter at Selfridges, and I'll make sure that information is below. That is what I do when I want to pick up like a whole collection, because it's just easier. If there's like a couple of pieces and I'm not as excited, I might just wait and be like, well, if I get it, I get it. But if you really are interested in an entire collection, or you want a particular palette or whatever, you know, reaching out to them and directly ordering is really easy to do. So that is the Suqqu Pre Holiday collection. Of the two eyeshadows, I think, you know, the more that I wear this, actually, I'm starting to like it, which is the way with Suqqu. I think I like the 108 a little bit more, but I do have to play around with them a lot more, because the thing about them is, like I said, the color stories are not obvious, and you can really do a lot of different things with the looks, and you can use one or two shadows, You can use them in different ways. The toppers always change the entire look of the eye, so that always makes a huge difference as well. So I'm going to play around with them a little bit more, but suffice to say, I really do like the Suqqu products. I haven't come across one yet that was a fail for me. They're all good. It just depends on what kind of color story you like, that type of thing. So with that, thanks so much for joining me today, guys. I really do appreciate it. And I hope to see you in another video really soon.